Hmm. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you.
You're
Should I
welcome.
go back? Hi there.
Yeah, you just put all your stuff in. Thank you. Do you have any keys in your pockets? Sir?
Nope.
Okay, come on. There you go.
We're just here for the public meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
And where is that?
Streeting, I just put it.
Oh, okay.
So.
Great. I'll wait for
While you wait.
with him.
No. Okay. So did y'all RSVP me? It's okay.
Pretty much. I
Okay.
didn't send an email.
Okay. So you're not on the list. That's
So I'm not on the secret email list.
There's not a secret email list.
But that's why people should not have to respond.
Well, we need to know head
Email.
count. We need to know head count.
Well, you should have said that, but you should have said that in the public post where I saw it. So I responded in the public forum that I would be coming
Okay.
and potentially bringing 10 people with me.
Okay.
So that is how I did respond. All right.
Well, that's fine. Come on. Well, you said you two to go.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my friend here.
Yeah. Thank you. So.
You're all very safe with us here.
Take a look, then take it in the restroom.
Thank you.
Can you go to the restroom?
Maybe eventually. I don't know. Why do you take me to the restroom also?
No, it's just right here. I don't take you to the restroom.
I just wanted to make sure.
It's right here, and the
Great.
bathrooms are right across the hall.
Thank you. Appreciate that very much.
And we have cookies and water.
Wonderful. Thank you. Water?
So that's kind of neat.
You want some cookies? Everywhere we go, there's cookies for us.
Yeah. Jason.
But yeah, we are here for this public meeting. Well, it's a town hall actually. And we are going to sit right in the front row, right down there. Excuse us. This town hall is put on by Sheriff Tyler Brown and District Attorney Amy Padden of Arapahoe County. This is the 18th Judicial District. And Arapahoe County is the county of Inglewood. Well, where Inglewood is. So in case you're wondering.
Like that was a little easier than England's process.
She said, I'm not even going to bother wanting you. They know. They just know that they're safe.
It'd take a while. A lot of stuff to take off.
So yeah, here we are. This is the district attorney's office that has spent a lot of time prosecuting us for the city of Inglewood and the Inglewood Police Department, prosecuting both Luis and I, and Denver Metro audits as well.
Hi guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thanks. And so the topic of this town hall, I think I know, is talk about the critical incident review team.
Yeah, that was good.
And that team evaluates officer involved shootings and cases of excessive force. And one of our favorite people is on that team, and his name is Aaron Glee. And he is a detective over in Inglewood.
Inglewood.
We're a professional reporting team this evening.
Yeah.
No, Lenny, that was not DMA. He is not here tonight. Danny's thoughts. How are you?
Hi.
Are you in the chat, DJ?
You were gonna do.
Jack off. Jack off. Jack is in the chat.
And he, and do city council.
I'm sure Jack off appreciates my new tagline for the newly elected team of city council members of the city of Inglewood, the Steve, Joe, Jack and O show. So they have a new guy. His name's Jack Bethel, and the O stands for Othaniel Bad Ears Mayor guy, you know. So it's the Steve, Joe, Jack and O show.
I was on Zoom.
And Sheriff Brown, his last job was at Mountain View. If anyone is interested in any facts.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
That's big term.
Yep. He went from,
He's kind of more on.
he and another guy, Reagan Born, went from Adams County. And let's see, was he from, no, he was a Sheriff Brown, who got elected as sheriff, I think used to work for the sheriff's department here in Arapahoe County. And then I think, don't quote me, no, maybe it was Aurora, I don't know. But then he went and got a job at Mountain View.
When that prosecuted my district kind of case.
So we're gonna see lots of familiar faces this evening.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the people who were. Right, against him. So he passed this way.
So I'm going.
Apparently this meeting is scheduled for 1 hour. I don't know what the format of how they're gonna run this town hall is,
them.
so stay tuned for that.
So, I don't think. Yes. But if it is, I have. So weird place to come at 6 o'clock at night in the winter. Just saying.
It's what?
It's a weird place to come at 6 o'clock at night. In the winter. I mean, my husband drove me. He said, where are you going? I think I'll just drive you. It's a fine place. It feels it's dark. Happens this time of year.
Yeah.
How long have you been on this job? 10 years?
So, okay.
So you can stay 5 more if we want, if it comes out.
Yeah.
It's county jobs are like this.
Hey Eddie, how are you?
Yeah. You like that flip down?
You like that flip down thing? Sheriff Brown, do you happen to know what's going on with that call on I-25 with the guy that's climbing the sculpture in the tech center? You haven't heard anything? The ladder truck is trying to reach him right now. Traffic is gonna be backed up forever.
Yep.
I don't know if that's Denver responding.
Bellevue 925 right there. Greenwood.
Is it Bellevue? It was,
Thought that's what they said on the radio.
oh, so you did hear about it?
Yeah, I did hear.
Oh,
about it on the
okay.
radio, so
Yeah, so it's,
I just don't know exactly what's going on. Just
yeah, it's on the
heavy
east side.
activity.
It's on the east side of I-25
At Bellevue?
Yeah, it's in Denver.
and it's north of Bellevue. So what jurisdiction is that?
That's Denver. I think that would be Denver. North of Bellevue is Denver. Part of the big center.
It depends. I mean, Greenwood will respond around.
Well, if it's happening, if the response is happening from I-25, that's gonna be a major
Oh, huge impact, yeah.
uh agency, so that would be Denver responding with their fire truck, right?
Or south.
What is the
depending
person
on
doing?
Land request, so it could be south and then over there too, depending on who had a closer ladder truck, so.
What is?
Do you
the
know that
person doing?
sculpture that looks like a ladder that's twisted in between some of the big
Was it
sky?
next to the exit?
No, it's just on the east side of I-25, and it's an art sculpture. It's probably 200 feet or so tall, and some guy's climbing it right now, and I don't know if he's suicidal or if he's just teasing the cops or what he's doing.
Yes. Can you hear them? Like good? Good.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. I know we have a few more people in charge, a lot that are walking in. My name is Derek Ross. I'm the Public Information Officer for the 18th Judicial District Attorney's Office covering Arapahoe County. We appreciate everybody showing out, or showing up this evening to hear from elected leaders. Your elected sheriff for Arapahoe County, Tyler Brown, over to my right, followed by District Attorney Amy Patton to my right as well. We have a pretty short presentation so that we can allow enough time for plenty of questions at the end. So there's probably about 15 or 16 slides that they're going to go over with crime trends and things of that nature. Please hold your questions till the very end. We promise we will get to everyone's question. We want to leave a lot of time for Q&A. So thank you. And if you have to use the restroom, right across the hallway. So with that said, I will turn it over to District Attorney Amy Patton.
Thanks. So we'll get things kicked off. I am wrapping up the first year of my first term. And so wanted to give folks an update as to what's been going on. I think as many people in the room know, we went through a district split. So previously the 18th Judicial District had been comprised of 4 counties, Arapahoe County and also Douglas, Lincoln, and Elbert County. And so for the 2024 election, that was the first time that those districts were split. So I'm the district attorney for the 18th Judicial District, which covers only Arapahoe County. And the state started a new judicial district, the 23rd Judicial District, that covered Douglas, Lincoln, and Elbert County. So a lot of logistical work went into that to divide up the office employees and resources and to get the necessary funding in place. So I'm pleased to announce that we were able to add a number of positions in 2025. We have been focusing on victim services and enhancing those services, as well as making sure that we can meet the needs of the pending cases in the district. Additionally, as many of you may heard, that there was a decision by the Aurora City Council to stop prosecuting misdemeanor domestic violence cases in Aurora Municipal Court. There was concurrent jurisdiction for those cases with the municipal court as well as our county court. And effective July 1, the city attorney's office is not prosecuting those domestic violence misdemeanors only that occur in the city of Aurora. Instead, those are going to Arapahoe County if they happen in the Arapahoe County side of Aurora, so essentially south of Colfax, or they're going to Adams County if they occurred above there. So that was a big part of the additional budget request that I made to my commissioners, because that involves an additional substantial caseload. We were anticipating getting approximately between 900 and 1,000 cases a year, in addition to our existing caseload from that transition, and we've been seeing that. So we were able to add additional full-time employees, that's what FTEs means, for those cases, as well as some other victim compensation specialists and another deputy district attorney. And then the 2026 budget has just been approved, and we were able to add some more more full-time employees through that as well. We have fortunately seen an increase in our juvenile crime rates. We have a special unit that looks at juvenile crimes and prosecutes those cases in particular. And we want to add another supervisor to those cases because they're very complex, balanced in deciding how to prosecute those cases. So we did that. We are adding another felony domestic violence prosecutor. And then we are continuing to add for the Aurora Municipal Domestic Violence Transition. Essentially, it was a phased approach. The commissioners granted us some additional resources in 2025, so we could look at what those numbers were looking like, and they were on par with what we thought. So we're getting additional resources in 2026. We also are adding additional victim support positions. For our felony domestic violence unit, we're adding a victim witness specialist that deals specifically with those cases. Those cases are sometimes some of the most difficult cases that we have to deal with, knowing how to talk to victims or in a domestic violence situation, to explain to them the process, what their options are, and how to see a case through. So we did that, as well as we added restitution specialists to make sure that victims in Arapahoe County are getting the restitution that they are owed so that they can be made whole to the extent as possible. And then we have 2 additional positions that haven't yet been assigned. And so our priorities for 2026, we're going to continue to focus on this domestic violence case transition, make sure that goes smoothly, make sure that we are holding offenders accountable, make sure that we are getting justice for victims of domestic violence. We're also looking at processes to enhance our cold case reviews. As the 18th Judicial District Attorney, we have a number of law enforcement agencies in our district, to include the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office, Aurora Police Department, as well as some of the smaller municipalities like Englewood, Sheridan, Greenwood Village, Terrio Village, all have their own police departments. And I would say probably most of these have cold cases that have gone a long time, cases that have not been solved. But it's exciting. There's been a lot of developments in DNA analysis that we may be able to go back and review some of these cold cases and potentially solve them even decades later. So we're going to be taking a look at those cases and collecting them all in one place so that we can review them. I'm also very committed to starting a conviction integrity review, although I think we're going to call that a justice integrity review, either unit or the very least a process. And that will go back and look at past convictions to see, if there are cases where a conviction was wrongful, if a person who is actually innocent was convicted, or also look at cases of disparate sentencing. So did someone get a very long sentence where if they committed that crime today, their sentence would have been much shorter? Or did someone have habitual filings against them for habitual sentencing, whereas maybe we wouldn't file for those habitual sentences today? And should their sentences be adjusted? We've also started a new diversion pilot program for traffic cases. So we have a robust diversion program here on the 18th. We have 17 full-time employees working in our diversion program. And what diversion does is it looks at our offenders, mainly low-level, non-violent offenders, and says, how did this person get to where they are in the criminal justice system? What caused them to commit this crime? And is there something we can do to address the underlying issues that are going on in this person's life to make sure that they don't reoffend, to rehabilitate them? So do they have a mental health problem? Do they have a substance abuse problem? Are they homeless? Do they need help finding a job? Do they need help putting food on the table? What can we do to connect them with resources? And so this program has counselors that we can bring these people along. And these programs allow these offenders the opportunity to work these convictions off their records if they successfully complete the programs. And that's huge moving forward, to not be saddled by the baggage of conviction when they're trying to find a job or housing and support their families further down the road. So we're not only enhancing our diversion referrals, but we also have piloted a traffic diversion program. And this is for people, for example, that maybe get pulled over because their license is expired or their registration is expired. And rather than having them come to court and they haven't gotten it yet, and then they have to come back in 60 days, we're going to send them into our new diversion program. And we're just piloting this, so we'll see. But I'm very optimistic that it's going to work well. and just help them through the process, help them actually get the insurance, help them actually get their driver's license. So you don't have to keep coming back to court and keep kicking the can down the road. So let's address the issue that's right in front of us. Another thing that we are very interested and committed to doing is starting a family justice center. A family justice center brings together all sorts of resources, primarily for victims of domestic violence or other violence within the home. And we are one of the few metro areas that doesn't have such a program. They have a longstanding one in Denver, the Roseanne Center. Jefferson County has one. Adams County, I think, is just beginning theirs or just starting theirs, and that's something that's really important because those programs are really shown to reduce, in the long run, domestic violence, homicides, and other very serious crimes. So if we can intervene in a case where it's a first-time domestic violence offender and make sure that that victim has the resources they need and make sure that offender goes through treatment and make sure that we are addressing the issues that are going on, we can really reduce those serious crime rates in the long run. I'm going to talk a little bit that we have seen some increasing caseloads, particularly in our misdemeanor cases, and we're working on addressing those. As I mentioned, with the new positions we are adding, we are focused on victim services and supporting victims. And then finally, I spent some time down on the Hill every session working on legislative changes. So some changes that are important to me and the other DAs in the state right now are about competency in particular. I'm sure folks have seen stories in the paper about individuals whose cases, quote unquote, timeout. They have been found that they are incompetent and can't be restored, and those cases are being dismissed. And so we need a legislative fix because right now the statute's mandatory about those dismissals. We need a legislative fix to address that. And so that's something that I'm committed to working on and making sure that if we do have a case where someone is incompetent and their case is dismissed, that they are getting resources, that they aren't just being released to the street, that they are either being civilly committed or that they are getting treatment in the community so that they don't reoffend, so we don't see this cycle repeating itself. And then another legislative issue that we are working on is the increase we've seen in vehicular homicides and fatal accidents. And what can we do to make sure that we are holding offenders accountable in cases that are aggravated? So cases where people are racing, in cases where people are drunk, in cases where people are speeding, 100 miles an hour. We've seen cases like this, and it's very disturbing in our communities, and we need to make sure that we have the tools that we need to address that so that everyone is safe on the road, whether they're a pedestrian or in another vehicle. And then these are our statistics on the Aurora municipal domestic violence transition that I mentioned earlier. So we've seen these average increases, and the annualized monthly increase in workload is just shy of 1,000 cases that we're going to see because of that transition. And then one more stat. Some people don't know, but I have attorneys on call 24/7, multiple attorneys on call 24/7. So we are here available, doesn't matter what time, day or night, to answer phone calls from the sheriff's office or from Aurora Police Department. If they need a search warrant, if they need advice on an emerging situation. We have people on calls specifically that go out and physically respond to homicides. And then we're going to talk about the CIRT, the critical incident response team. That's when there's an officer involved shooting. We also have people on CERT call that go out and respond anytime that there's an officer involved shooting. And I go myself to all those if I'm in town. We'll talk about that a little more in a minute. And now I'll turn it over to Sheriff to talk about
Good
the
evening,
numbers.
everybody. Yeah, we can talk about numbers real quick. I'll give you a quick overview. We weren't 100% sure. We were pretty confident of what was going to happen today with the Board of County Commissioners and the increase in staffing. So just so everybody has a general idea of what the Sheriff's Office covers and what we're responsible for. So right now, we're at about 850 employees at the Sheriff's Office, and we're responsible for patrol in all the unincorporated parts of Arapahoe County, and we do contract services for a couple cities. So we do contract services for Foxfield, Bennett on the Adams County and Arapahoe County side, Deer Trail, and then obviously the biggest one is Centennial. And so Right now, we have about 550 deputies on patrol, or not on patrol, in the agency. And they operate those patrol divisions as well as the detention facility. And then we have about another 300 support staff. The county commissioners this year recognized that we need to grow as our population increases across the unincorporated part of Arapahoe County. The population in the unincorporated part that we cover is about the same size right now as the city of Centennial when it comes to population. So about 110,000 people live in the unincorporated part, and about 110,000 people live in the city of Centennial. So we provide those law enforcement services for the cities and the unincorporated parts of Arapahoe County. And I wanted to make sure that I recognize the commissioner's commitment to making sure that we're able to keep pace with the growth and the expectations of the community. And so right now, these numbers that I'll jump into, and as you can see, it's broken out in Arapahoe County and the city of Centennial. Calls for service for 2023, 2024, and 2025 from January through September, so we could keep those numbers comparative. We've seen a drastic decrease in our Part 1 crimes, and our Part 1 crimes are going to be those larger felony crimes, whether that's homicide, sex assaults, robberies, burglaries, motor vehicle theft in general that reaches that higher level. And looking at those limits in Colorado, those are a lot of the quality of life things that we're facing. And so we've seen a drastic downturn in our calls for service and those reports coming out of both the unincorporated part and the city of Centennial. And we can break those numbers down a little bit more. Does that slide go to the next? Perfect. So violent crime overall, murder has decreased 75% since 2003. The big one that we've obviously been talking about since COVID that I want to bring up is that motor vehicle theft has a dramatic reduction of 59% from 2024. And that was something that people have been talking about repeatedly. And I think really what that comes down to is that we've had great communication with our constituents on making sure that they understand how to protect their vehicles, how to make sure that they mitigate any risk that they have of leaving valuables in their car, leaving keys in their car. With all these new push button technology, it's very easy for people to jump in their car, drop their keys in the cup holder. And then when you jump out and you turn your car off, you walk away and you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. My car will be there when I get back. And it's a crime of opportunity. People know that. And then also some technology advances. We were seeing a drastic increase in two specific motor vehicles that were being stolen. That was Kia and Hyundai's. They shared technology in those ignitions, and it made it very easy for those vehicles to be stolen. There ended up being a fix to that, and they were able to get those recalls done and fixed. And I think that was another portion that helped address this. So we also worked at the legislature with sheriffs and DAs and our law enforcement partners to increase certain offenses of motor vehicle theft and not just have it be based off the value of the car, because we know that some of these vehicles that were being stolen had a much larger impact on lower socioeconomic communities. And we wanted to make sure that those victims were being heard. And so we work in conjunction with our partners at DA's offices across the state, as well as other law enforcement agencies, to work on legislation to make sure that we're good. But, I hear it a lot. We were having that conversation that, every time that we send out a survey, people's biggest concern is crime is up. Crime is up, crime is up, crime is up. And the stats don't support it. And if you want more specific stats, you can reach out to the sheriff's office, to our Public Information Bureau, and we can get you exactly those monthly breakdowns so you can see how they've decreased month by month over the last couple of years. But these are some exciting numbers. Obviously, we want to see them continue to decrease, but I think we're working in the right direction, and we have a collaborative nature of working with our community, our DA's office. And that's on the patrol side. And then I kind of want to talk about some of the things that we're working on, and I don't have a slide for it, but that's okay, because we can just talk about it and I'll answer questions when it comes to what we're doing inside the detention facility and really the steps that we're taking to address recidivism, the steps that we're taking to help people when they leave custody be better off than when we got them. And that's really something that we focused on with individuals that we hold in custody. One of the things that I've really tried to address with our staff and really change our mindset on is that we run the largest mental health facility in the county on any given day. I have about 950 people in custody, and they're usually dealing with multiple coexisting issues, whether that's substance use disorder and another mental health issue, or a combination of other health issues. So we're trying to make sure that we're getting them the best care possible. And we've done that through medicated assisted treatment. We provide all three opioid antagonists inside of our facility. We're not only a continuation program, but we work collaboratively with the Region 9 Opioid Abatement Council to spend some of those lawsuit dollars that have come into the state to make sure that we can expand our program. And we actually induce people into the medicated assisted treatment program that are dealing with substance use disorder. And so what that means is that a doc actually prescribes that medication to them. And then when they leave custody, we're making sure that we are providing them with some navigation and a warm handoff to hopefully address some of those issues that they're dealing with when it comes to substance use disorder. Because we see a lot of the larceny and theft issues that we come across, large retail theft rings are there to support the habit. And so if we can address the root cause of that, we might be able to get on top of a lot of those crime issues that we're seeing in the community. And so that's something that we're working on that I'm very proud of. We added a food pantry this year for people leaving custody. We have a partnership with a philanthropic group that provides food at no cost to the sheriff's office and no cost to the county. They get donations, they get food donations, they get monetary donations, and then they bring that food and they leave it in a pantry. It's in a cabinet right outside, no questions asked. Anybody can come and grab it. It's not specifically for the people that are leaving custody, but those individuals, when they get out, we've seen that they really struggle with where's my next meal coming from? And we've also seen an increase in overdoses of people that don't have their metabolism going. And so if they get out and their stomach's full, the likelihood that they overdose decreases dramatically if they have food in their stomach, all part of the metabolizing process that they have. And so we're working to try to help our community out and make things a little bit better. And we have mental health services inside of our detention facility, and we work on that diversion program. And one of the things that we can talk about, the competency court that the DA brought up, is that we have what's called the RISE program inside the Arapahoe County Detention Facility, and that's restoring individuals safely and effectively, and that deals with competency. And so essentially we're an extension of the state hospital when it comes to competency restoration. And we get clients in custody from all over the state. And so they're part of the competency program. We have 96 beds currently right now. We have 77 of them that are able to be used. And I think that we have about 60 people in custody today that are going through some sort of competency restoration. And that's huge. And that we actually partner with the state in that process. So we're the vendor for the state and they house this out of our detention facility. The one thing that is a little tricky with this is that we have about 50 people inside the detention facility right now that are our clients here in Arapahoe County that are waiting to have their competency restored. And we can't utilize that space because we have to leave certain beds open for courts across the state to be able to send their people here. There's about 300 to 350 people on the competency wait list right now across the state. And it becomes a very big issue. And we've seen it in a couple cases here in Arapahoe County where our hands essentially are tied, that they've timed out on their case. And even the crazier thing than they timing out on their case and the victim's not getting justice in that, they haven't finished their competency restoration either. And so we can't say, hey, we're 2 weeks away from finishing this. Can we hold on to them to get them the mental health services they need? And the answer is absolutely not. Can't hold anybody in custody longer than the judge says that we can, and they time out on those cases. So it's something that we'll work collaboratively on with the DAs this year to hopefully address with the state legislators. But that's kind of us in a nutshell, and then we can jump into the other parts of our conversation.
Yeah, and so we went ahead and ran some stats about court filings. And so, you know, we are going slightly up in court filings, but I'll explain that's mainly due for misdemeanor cases. As the sheriff mentioned, the violent crime rates are down, and especially the homicide rate. is down, but we are still below, we're kind of right where we were pre-COVID at this point. Again, this is overall, all types of cases, here. And then our felony filings are going up slightly, but again, the violent crime rate is going down. Homicide rate filing, so this, the blue line is the total, the, orange line is the average over the past 10 years, and then the green line is the moving average. And then we have seen an uptick in traffic and misdemeanor filings. And this has been kind of trending back up since we got out of COVID. You know, I've been talking to the sheriff and to other, you know, the chief of Aurora Police and others about what might explain this. And a lot of it is staffing, that our law enforcement agencies are being more fully staffed now than they have been in the past. And so I don't think this necessarily reflects that crime is up. It's just that there is more enforcement going on. And we have seen the traffic filings go up. So actually this blue line is traffic and this green line is misdemeanors. And, you know, I think we've seen some local law enforcement agencies focus more on traffic offenses generally. And, you know, I think we still can all agree that we still have problems with speeding and other reckless driving going on in our county. And so it's good to see enforcement up in those areas. So we've had a busy year in the courtroom. To date, we have tried 187 cases. So that comes out to about an annual average of about 200 cases. And we've tried everything that we have in our state criminal code. So human trafficking, sex assault, DUIs, theft cases, crime against children, homicide, attempted homicides, all sorts of cases. We have been prosecuting cases and taking cases to trial.
People with cannabis.
And now I'll have the sheriff start off. We're going to talk a little bit more about the critical incident response team that I mentioned earlier, which is what happens when we have a officer involved shooting in Arapahoe County. And I'll turn over to the sheriff.
Yeah, fantastic, thank you. So CERT, as we refer to it as is the critical incident response team. And it's a special group of highly trained investigators from different law enforcement agencies across the 18th Judicial District, to include criminal investigators from the DA's office that investigate uses of force where serious bodily injury and or death occur with interactions between citizens and law enforcement. And so the team is made up of members from the Aurora Police Department, the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office, Littleton Police Department, Inglewood PD, Greenwood Village, and Glendale in the District Attorney's Office, like I mentioned. We try to make sure that every law enforcement agency has at least some participation in this. They might not have a lead investigator or somebody that has the tenure to be a lead investigator in one of these, be part of this, whether they support in crime scene photographs or any type of processing, or they provide an investigator that might be able to go and help out with canvassing after a specific incident has occurred. And we have a lot of buy-in. And usually what happens when these situations occur, a page goes out and everybody that is part of this team responds. We usually get anywhere from 30 to 50 investigators responding to these incidents. A lot of the time, we end up sending some of the investigators home just because there's not the workload there for them to be part of it. And so the interesting thing about CERT investigations that a lot of people don't initially know off the bat is that these interactions are treated as full-blown homicide investigations. That's how they are conducted. We don't do anything different when it comes to the collection and processing of evidence, the interview process. We make sure that we follow this to a T because the fact collecting falls back on this specific team to make sure that they can present a factual case to the district attorney's office. And then there is no decision making inside of that. They literally collect the facts, put them in a report, and then present them to the district attorney's office for their determination on whether charges should be filed or they met the qualifications through state statute to meet whether it was a justified or unjustified use of force, and if there should be criminal charges that are associated with that.
And just to highlight it with the sheriff saying, so we also, if there is an officer involved shooting, there's usually essentially 3 different investigations going on. So one is the CERT team investigation, and that the sole purpose of the CERT team investigation is to gather evidence to present to our office, so our office can decide whether or not criminal charges will be filed. That's all that's going on. There could also be an underlying criminal investigation regarding the individual who was shot. Let's say the individual who was shot didn't pass away, and maybe they were alleged to have committed a crime that resulted in the shooting. So then there's a second investigation going on into that. And then in addition to that, there also may be a third investigation going on for an internal affair, such as looking at whether police policy was fouled. And my office doesn't have anything to do with that. So our office, we have people on the CERT team as well. We have investigators in-house. Like I essentially have my own detective squad that works for my office, not for Tyler's office or Chief Chamberlain's office or anybody else. And they respond as well. And they are part of this investigative and fact gathering mission. And then once that evidence is presented to us, then it's our office's decision about whether or not charges will be filed or whether the case might be presented to the grand jury. And we are required by statute, and we do issue a letter if we decide that charges will not be filed. And that letter is publicly available on our website for, you can go, that goes back for several years. Those are all published and available once we have determined that. It stays here.
And one other portion of that is that that group is so large because no law enforcement agency is going to investigate their own use of force. So Aurora PD is not going to be the lead investigator in collecting of facts to present to the district attorney's office. One of those other agencies will be. If we have an officer involved shooting, we won't investigate our own. Another agency will, but we will investigate the criminal portion of it. And then our internal affairs division, our professional standards unit, will review if that deputy was in line with our policies and procedures at the sheriff's office. Do you want to now, or do you?
Let me see if we've got anything. I think we may have covered. Did we cover everything in here?
I think so.
I think we did. Yep.
Yeah, so we're there. Yes, yes, we are.
Okay, well, I'll start off if everyone's fine with that. I have a lot, but I'm gonna ask one and then give her the last opportunity. So regarding CERT, is there a family advocate or a family liaison or a victim advocate? Like, how do you deal with the family through the whole process?
So both our offices have victim advocates, so yes.
Yes, we'll engage in that because it is a homicide investigation or an attempted homicide investigation that meets the state requirements for VRA, Victim Rights Act. And so we do provide that to them, and usually we'll link up and we'll work that in tandem with the DA's office and try to make sure that we're making sure the needs of those family members are being met. And we're trying to give them as much information as we possibly can to not harm the investigation, but also make sure that they're able to address those needs that they're having at that time. Yeah.
And I am Kurt Manzanares, proud resident of Aurora. I have some pretty tough questions tonight. I have two for Amy and 3 for Tyler. And then one I think could be answered by either Amy or Tyler. I'll just go with the two quick ones is, so is there a member of the APD internal affairs any part of the CERT?
Not part of the CERT. No, the internal affairs process is separate, and there's a lot of separate procedural rules that apply to that process. So that's going to be going on separately from the CERT investigation.
That's good. That's great. Thank you. And then for the CERT, do you have someone that's part of the CERT investigative team that's gonna set on the dissent decree commission?
No, not from my agency.
But do they report their reports to the dissent decree to, supposed to be Joe Weiser, who's still with the dissent decree commission, but he's sending his assistant and he's not showing up. And I don't think the dissent decree is working anymore. I'm just not a big fan. And, you know, they're wanting to roll it over and saying it's fine and we're moving on. And I disagree.
Yes, so I can take that one.
Yep.
So the consent decree is separate. That, you know, the Attorney General essentially brought a pattern and practice case against Aurora. And that's a civil lawsuit against the city of Aurora that was settled in the form of a consent decree. So there's a separate monitor that, an independent monitor that monitors Aurora's compliance with the consent decree. So, but the CERT really has nothing to do with that, other than our findings are publicly available for the monitor to review or for the Attorney General's office to review or something like that, once the CERT team's completed the investigation and our office has made a charging decision.
I crossed those off the list. I only have 2 and 2, but I'm gonna give everybody else a chance.
Okay.
Fantastic.
You know?
Thank you, Debbie Stafford with Aurora Mental Health and Recovery. Thank you both for your great work. So I'm just gonna make a blanket statement, and it's a dream that I've been working on for 2 years, and we took it to the legislature 2 years ago. So Aurora Mental Health and Recovery, as I know some of you know, we're getting ready to open a new crisis facility near Mississippi in 225. But we have 3 parcels of land. There's 1 parcel yet not utilized. That parcel of land, I have encouraged the state to look at a satellite state hospital. And where you put in a facility and get the competency beds down, because I just heard a report this week in the legislature, and it is a firm 350. And just because of the numbers, that number is just not going down. And so you said something, Sheriff, that now makes my juices just really, I'll probably lay awake tonight and solve this problem. But if you could get all the opioid settlement regions to collectively see any value that everybody pooled something in, it's funding a facility like that in the middle of such an economic challenge right now. But I don't know if you have any interest in that, but if you're open to it, I'll share my ideas, because I've had it before several members that I think really would get behind it.
I have had that same dream for the last couple of years, and mine is not a satellite facility, but moving the state hospital main campus to the Denver metro area, because we're sitting on one of the richest square miles of knowledge and teaching when it comes to the Anschutz Medical Center. If we could tap into that resource to have these individuals that are graduating get true clinical experience working inside of a state hospital setting, we would be able to address those 350 individuals that are struggling with competency right now. And I think the problem is having the state hospital in Pueblo is not a magnet location for young professionals that are graduating with this skill set to go and start their career. Do I think that we need a satellite facility down in Pueblo? 100%. I'm not trying to take that away from the residents of Pueblo, but I think that there is a better solution, and I would love to partner with you on that and see how much traction we can get to have that moved closer to the metro area and have that be a center point, because we know we have a crisis when it comes to mental health professionals across the country, not just here in the state of Colorado, but across the country. So anytime we can move them to a location that has those, I think we're going to be better served for that population.
Follow-up comment, I'll flip my script. My script will say we should relocate it to our land, and I'll tell you why. It's zoned. And we spent years working with Arapahoe County Commissioners trying to put a detox that could be zoned even in other parts of this area. People really find it. That's already zoned. So I'll flip my language and I'll say we should move it up there, because next door at our 50,000 square foot facility, we also do training of people who are going through their educational opportunities to get them really into the behavioral health space. And so we could move it and make Pueblo satellite. There you go.
There you go.
We'll have a plan by morning.
Excited to see it.
Thank you.
Hi, I have a question, for for the district attorney. If you could correct me in what I think I know is fact, but it is you that holds all the authority to organize and select the CERT team and ensure that it's where it's supposed to be per what the law says, correct?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
So the way that the CERT team is we include all the law enforcement agencies within our district. And they designate people that are gonna serve on the CERT team. I don't go and say, you know, Sheriff Brown, I want these 5 deputies on the CERT team. I don't have any involvement.
But you have the authority to do that, correct? You have the authority to choose who can or cannot be on that CERT team, correct?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but the way it works currently is we invite all the agencies to participate and they choose who are gonna be the specific members of that team. And then if we do have an officer involved shooting, the team is deployed. So everybody gets called and people respond. And so we, many times, as Sheriff referenced earlier, we have more investigators than we need show up because everybody responds to that, so.
And if the public would like to know who is on that CERT team at any particular time, how would they find out?
I think they could send a FOIA request.
Yeah, or requested
To,
one of the coordinators. And so there's a coordinator with Littleton PD, Inglewood PD, the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office, and Aurora has coordinators.
but that's where the problem lies in transparency. And that's why I'm asking the question about who specifically holds all that authority for that CERT team. I would like to know right now who represents the Inglewood Police Department. Can you tell me?
I don't have it off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, I do. And it's because I sat in court testimony and listened to Aaron Glee state that he was on the CERT team. And Aaron Glee should not be on the CERT team. And I would like to make my case to the appropriate person as to why he should not be on that CERT team. Who would that be?
So start with the coordinator at the Inglewood Police Department or their chief of police.
And you think Inglewood is going to say that he doesn't belong on there?
I mean, that's your opinion.
That's not the process, Sheriff Brown. That's not the process,
Okay.
because I do believe that the DA holds the authority to make those decisions on what the CERT team is comprised of in this judicial district. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got your question first, then I'll get you for.
Yeah, okay, so it's about CERT too.
Yep.
Okay, so based on what you're just saying, there is no then public place to determine who's on CERT. Which I'm doing for,
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of people don't even know how to do court requests.
People don't even know
I
what that
wouldn't
is.
say, I wouldn't have an issue with telling you who our investigators are. So if you reached out to our investigation division, and our investigators are our detectives, we call them a different name, I don't know why, that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
But our investigators, they're rotating in and out, they promote, they're no longer part of that. And so I don't know, I don't have an exact list of who's part of that right now, but our coordinator is Lieutenant Johnny Turnich. And if you reach out to him, we have no problem sharing who those members of that CERT team are that respond.
Yeah, no problem, Sharon. I'm just trying to understand the process of it. So then my second question is, so how do you then, and you might not know this, but how do you then determine if conflicts arise? Because police officers are friends, like that's their community. So if you have communities of police officers, they hang out together. And now you have a situation where there's a police officer possibly investigating his friend. How do you determine conflict of interest? Is there a process for that, or how does that work?
No, I mean, it's a good question. No, I mean, I enjoy the question. I think, one of the big things is that our investigators continuously have to put the facts of the case out. And I think that if there was ever an instance that facts were being altered, that group is large enough and diverse enough from different agencies that they're not gonna put that entire process at risk and the credibility of the entire judicial district in question. they have a certain set of facts that need to be followed, and there's a process to certain investigation of how that occurs. But then they also have to go through and meet the elements of the specific crime of homicide. And they have to go through what those are, and then it's up to the use of force for a peace officer and what those standards are across the state to present to the district attorney's office. And there's multiple levels that goes through that very, very, very smart district attorneys punch holes in those cases all the time. And that's what their job is to make sure. And so I think that I see where you're coming from, that, you know, hey, Deputy B is friends with Officer A. They're buddies. He's on the CERT team. He goes out and investigates that. We've had instances where it's like, hey, I was part of this agency before. I've moved to Arapahoe County, or I've moved to a different law enforcement agency, and I know that person. They're open when they share that. Should that person be the lead in this? Probably not. And if they came from another agency, I think those questions are asked pretty frequently inside of that investigation, and how that starts off straight from the jump on when that actual incident occurs. So,
And just to clarify real quick.
Yes.
as Public information officer. So we've talked a lot about sorry, I don't mean to say. When we talk about officer involved shootings, it can be officer involved critical incidents. It doesn't necessarily have to be an officer involved shooting. And by law, there is not a secretive process when it comes to the findings. So on our website, I'm required by law, I post them up there. If we decide not to charge an officer, it doesn't mean those findings stay hidden. We publish those findings in the full report on our website. So how many of you have visited our website and see that we have a section for critical incident responses?
I have.
So we post, if we decide, whether we decide to charge or not to charge, if we decide not to charge, the outcome of that investigation, those full findings, including who participated in that investigation, all the parties involved, photographs, measurements, everything that was taken as part of the evaluation and making that determination is a public record that nobody has to file a public records request for. We do post it on our website to be transparent with the public and in compliance with state law.
Okay, thank you. And just, I'll make one other point, in response to that, is that once our office is presented with the evidence, it's not like they just say, give us a report, like this is what the evidence says. Like, we get all the body cam, we get recordings of the interview, we get the physical, we get everything, access to everything, our attorneys, and we review all that information. So we just don't say, okay, the CERT lead said that, you know, this witness said X, Y, Z. We go back, we check, we watch the body cam. I mean, I'm usually watching the body cam that very night because I'm responding and I see it with my own eyes that very night. And so, you know, there's just another set of eyes on it that would address the potential conflict that you raised. So,
Kurt, so with my question, first I want to go back, what was your name, your public information office or?
officer,
Public information officer.
my public information officer for my office.
Business cards?
Is he an attorney?
Information.
Is he an attorney?
Eric, ERIC, Ross, ROSS. And my email address is just eross@arapahoegov.com.
Okay, thank you. Yep. And back to my question, kind of what Debbie was talking about and you addressed in your presentation. So the cases that are dismissed because they're timeouts and they're actually, I mean, obviously, like there's some of them that should not be released back to the public. Why couldn't they, I mean, even some of these family members said that he should not be released. He's a danger, and he's, I mean, danger to himself, but to the public. Isn't there, and I know you're working with it on the Hill, but isn't there a way to get him released to the state hospital in Pueblo? To get him held until we can really address what's going on and get him in a safe place and make the public safe too?
So there are separate processes, and that's one of the issues that I think needs to be addressed with the legislative fix as well. So there's a criminal case going on, and then once someone, you know, times out, if they haven't been restored in a certain amount of time, and the time varies depending on the severity of the charge, the statute says the criminal case shall be dismissed. So the criminal court has no jurisdiction over them.
What about the judge?
But so that judge doesn't, but another judge, we can, DAs can, but it's usually the county attorney can institute a civil commitment proceeding. And so, we did have a high profile case in our district where there was a civil commitment proceeding in place. And so that individual was already in the state hospital, remained in the state hospital, just moved from the forensic ward where the criminal proceedings are going on to the civil commitment ward. Part of it's a research issue. We don't have enough bed space. And, part of it is that there need to be some legislative fixes to make that happen more smoothly, because 100% agree with you. If someone's been found incompetent, such as we can't take an incompetent person to trial, but if someone's been found incompetent, they are so severely mentally ill that they can't participate in their own defense. They can't understand the role of the prosecutor, the defense attorney, and the judge. They don't understand the charges against them. That person is very mentally ill, and it is not right to release them back to the streets. But right now, we just don't have the systems in place to address that, and so that's why we need a legislative fix, and that's something I've been working
Thank you, Debbie, too.
on. Debbie, did you have one?
I just wanted to add, I've served on so many commissions, and it goes back to saying, what if one officer would know another, or when there's some investigation happening? Any respectable group like that is gonna have conflict of interest disclosures. And I would really say, to anybody's concerns, if somebody believes they knew somebody that was involved in something and they were part of your CERT team, I couldn't even imagine not saying, my apologies, I have conflicts of interest here, and I need to step back, let someone else step in. So it would seem to me that would just be a protocol that, and I would accept that as a public, assuming that would be your proper protocol. I just have a lot of opinions.
Yes. That's a good point. Gary?
I have some very mundane questions.
Yes.
What's a radar warrant?
Oh, so you saw that on the off list. A radar warrant is, if someone is pulled over for suspected DUI, they can refuse to take a blood or a breath test. But if the officer has enough probable cause to think that the person is actually intoxicated, they can go ahead and get a warrant in the middle of the night from a judge to force a blood draw. So that's what a radar warrant is. And so when we started, these radar warrants were used very infrequently, and we've started using them more and more because they're really an important tool to get drunk drivers off the streets. Because, the problem in refusal cases, those cases are difficult to prosecute. And many times can end in an acquittal because we don't have a BAC, and jurors want the scientific evidence. They want the blood alcohol contents. So if we have a judge sign off and that they agree that we have probable cause to do a blood draw, we can have a blood draw taken of that person.
And the other question is, what's misdemeanor domestic violence?
Yes.
Just when people yelling at each other?
No, it can be many different things. So, domestic violence can apply to felony charges, like a serious charge, like an assault or attempted homicide, or to misdemeanor charges. So typical domestic violence misdemeanor charges, and essentially we call it a DV tag, a domestic violence tag, and that tag is used when an intimate partner is committing the crime in order to control the victim, or attempt to control the victim. So harassment is a misdemeanor. Harassment could be physical harassment or verbal harassment, could be domestic violence or not domestic violence, depending on the context. Sometimes things like criminal mischief, destruction of property, that could be a domestic violence if we can prove that the perpetrator did it in an effort to gain control or to intimidate the victim, who's their intimate partner. Third degree assault is also a misdemeanor. So, a lot of crimes that are misdemeanors could be domestic violence. So, but then like a second degree assault, first degree assault, those are felonies. Those are more serious.
Real quick, that's not a question. I just wanted to say that I enjoy reading the newsletter that you send,
Okay.
and the story about the dentist. Oh my God.
Yes.
Everything you guys had to do and how evil he is.
Yes. So that was a great piece. Jamie is responsible. Is he still here? Okay. Jamie's responsible for our newsletter. It's actually his birthday today. I had to apologize to his wife for scheduling a town hall on his birthday, but he didn't tell me it was his birthday. But he's responsible, for the newsletter, but yes, we were very happy that we were able to get some justice for our ambulance.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm down to 1 for you and 2 for Tyler.
All right.
So in these domestic violence cases that were shuffled from Aurora to you guys, is this a good fit for where they should be? Or should they be being tried back in the Aurora courthouse? And with that, I mean, they used to have a whole victims assistant office set up for people with domestic violence cases in Aurora. And I don't think that's there anymore. And even yours that's here, I mean, it's not open. You go to the window and it's kind of a long process to get in to see them. Is this a good fit? Should our Aurora's domestic violence cases be in Arapahoe Court, or should they be back in Aurora Courthouse?
Yeah. So are you talking about Three Birds Alliance? As the domestic violence victims supports? Yeah, so that we are talking with Carmen about getting that set up here and making sure that that works as seamless as it can. And that's a great question. I'm biased, obviously, but at the end of the day, I do think this is a good thing. It was a challenge to get those additional resources, and I really appreciate the support that my commissioners gave to us to make sure that we can do that. But I think you've heard about all the challenges that they've been having in municipal court, where they didn't want to fund the public defender up there, and there were many cases that were ending in acquittals. They had very high acquittal rates, and so I think we have a better resources. We have attorneys' experience in prosecuting these cases, and I think we, at the end of the day, we will better serve victims in Aurora by having those cases in our courts.
I want you to reach out to Al and talk to Al, what you just saw.
Yes,
Please.
Ally Jackson, I will do that.
Right. I'll share the time, but I got 2 hot ones for you guys.
We're getting close to finishing time. Does anyone have one other than Kurt?
Can I ask too?
Yeah.
I would just like to ask you, Sheriff Brown, when are you going to start telling municipalities that it's not helping mental health, bringing homeless people to jail for trespassing on public property? Are you ever going to do that? I'm just curious.
I mean, if we have the space and they have probable cause to arrest under the statute, we're obligated to hold those people. And usually those people are getting out relatively quickly on PR bonds. So they have to have a place to process their arrest. And so we're going to process those arrests if they meet those requirements.
I serve on the Judicial Performance Commission in Aurora, and they've also added the Heart Court. And the Heart Court is targeted for individuals who are unhoused, who have received some kind of a municipal charge or a lower level charge. Misdemeanor charge, I said municipal misdemeanor charge. And they now have moved the Heart Court out to the Navigation Center. And so the real hub of it is getting services to the unhoused and accountability as opposed to the punitive. So there's some positive things within Arapahoe County that I think we could be celebrating.
Okay.
Now they've actually given 3 instead of 2. So are people who are locked up in Arapahoe County Jail, are they receiving mental health services, AA meetings, NA meetings, do they get 12-step meetings brought into them?
Yes,
No,
yes,
but okay.
they do. We have a psychologist on staff. We pay for that. You can look at our contract with our medical provider that has that built into that. We're also bringing in peer navigators from outside. I was one of the first sheriff's offices in the state to allow individuals with lived experience to utilize their national peer navigator certificate to get them into the facility, even though they had charges and cases that would normally preclude them from being allowed to come back into the facility. So we're running group therapy programs, we're providing steps through our tablet system to make sure that they're getting all of those resources in a number of different platforms that they can utilize. We're actually working right now with the state with opioid money. So that's something else we need to talk about, is that not just the regions, but the state has a pot of money that they're getting ready to release. And so one of the things that we're doing, we're looking at it through the County Sheriff's of Colorado, and it's utilizing a tablet-based platform or a workbook platform that would allow them to start the recovery process. And then it would have a warm handoff back into the community through this program, and those coaches would check in with those individuals. And we're going to hopefully be able to get that through with that settlement money that's coming out of the state on the grant. So what's your last question?
That was just the actual.
You can't have A, B, and C in one question.
Yeah, and I gotta get JB out of here because it's his birthday and that's why it's really good. Happy birthday.
Brittany, do you want to question?
Yeah, I do, but
For recovery, or is it actual NA members or AA members that are bringing meetings in, or just on some?
Both. We have that option. So
Sheriff, can I piggyback? I think Aurora Mental Health and Recovery also has a forensic team that works with you. Am I correct or? Okay?
yes.
Yeah, so we're also embedded in this trust.
Thank you. I'll ask you the other two personally later.
Sounds good.
So thank you. For those who registered, I will send an email out so you have my contact information. One of the things that DA Patton and I have talked about, we want to be a lot more open and transparent with the public, right? Like a lot of times people hear of court cases on the news, but they don't know all of the information, or they have a question about a data topic or statistic. We're happy to release that. So if you can't find something on our website, which we will hopefully be redoing next year, let me know. And you can always contact me. If I don't have an answer, I will find an answer. So as a public information officer, you know, DA Patton has her meetings and things that she's going to in a courtroom and whatnot. I am that liaison between the public, the media, and what goes on inside the courtroom. So if there's something you don't understand, or you think we should be addressing or looking into, or you have a general question, feel free to reach out to me and I will always find an answer for you.
Question. How long does the state address that?
Go.
Information.
Like the certain stuff,
How long does the
indefinitely.
information? Okay.
So that has to stay indefinitely. If we choose not to charge an officer, that report is a public record and it's on our website. Press releases and certain things on events, those eventually fall off and disappear after 2 or so years. But the investigative process and our policies regarding officer involved shootings, cert, judicial findings, those types of stuff, that all stays on our website indefinitely.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
Quick question. Yeah, I don't want to get deep into this, but I have a quick question. To find out about victim restitution, who do we contact?
Like in a specific
In a
case. or-
case that's been settled, the perpetrator pled guilty and all of that, you know.
And restitution has been paid.
Right,
You can reach out, you can call our office and ask, talk to the victim specialist on the case.
okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
I would just like to thank this DA's office because this is the first time, at least in my knowledge base of this office of the last 15, 20 years, that has been committed to be an open, communicative, and transparent with the public on even hot button issues that don't feel good. And you have not backed down from those. And I personally am very appreciative of that level of transparency. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Again, for those who registered, I'll send you an email so you have my information. If you didn't register and just showed up and want my information, let me know. Happy to write it down.
And then if anyone is not receiving our newsletter and would like to do so, because we do a lot of other events in the course of the year. That's one major way we get the information out. I can give you one of my cards and just say, please add me. You can email me and say, please add me. Anybody? Yes.
Sheriff Brown, the next time one of my people ends up in your jail for for a non-victim crime, like trespassing on public property, and they're not getting resources, and they're going to leave your jail without any resources, can I count on you to actually respond to me instead of ignoring me? I can? Okay, because I'm gonna hold you to it, because you're gonna show me that I'm wrong and that your staff is doing their job and these people are getting these resources that you articulate so well. I mean, you do a hell of a delivery. I'm gonna tell you, you did not do a good job through this last ordeal ignoring me. That was not in your favor. You know that, right? And you know that you started out as sheriff here with my respect, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. And you shook your head. So hopefully next time we're going to be able to work through things better. That is my hope. I was mumbling. I have yet to see any homeless person ever through this jail get connected with any resource. In fact, I have had to work my ass off to ensure that these people that sit in jail because they're homeless have some resources to connect to when they get out of jail. He is alive, and I don't appreciate it. They're
Claiming that they're giving you.
well, did you hear his menu
I did a little bit.
options of what they're doing for folks when they leave this jail?
It was about the food and it was about.
Oh, it wasn't just that. It was all those other connections to rehab, uh, sober living.
I mean, from what I heard, it's just like maybe a bus ticket and that's about it.
I didn't even hear bus ticket. Did you?
I did.
Did you hear him say bus ticket? If you did, I missed it.
You guys have my information, so you could always email me.
I don't think I have your card.
I don't have a card, but
Okay.
if you want, on your phone, do you have a way to?
I have emailed you through to your PIO address. Is that your address?
Yeah, or just eross@arapahoegov.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
But I also do monitor, there's other people that monitor the general inbox and the press one. I
Mhm.
oversee that one, but if you want my direct email, it's eross@arapahoegov.com.
eross@arapahoe.gov.
Arapahoegov.com.
arapahoegov.com.
Yep.
Okay.
Or if you just search like public information officer or media
And I
relations.
think you have
I
responded.
should pop up.
You guys have been
Yeah, I've
exceptionally
responded.
responsive, so thank
I
you.
mean, I was a member of the press for 12 years.
So he gets
I was a
it.
reporter down in Colorado Springs for a while. I worked in Milwaukee.
Right on.
Went in Amarillo. COVID killed my interest in news. So I decided I wanted to be kind of on the other side. So now I'm kind of the liaison between the press, the general public, and then what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not a. I'm not
Okay,
a
yeah.
lawyer. Like
You're doing a
that.
great job.
Please.
How long have you been here?
Since 2022. So I started.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been here that long?
Yep.
Oh, geez. And I'm sorry, I didn't know that until recently, I guess.
2022, and then I'm a full-time police officer. So this is a part-time job for me,
Mhm.
and then I'm a full-time officer for Lone Tree Police in Douglas County.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Eliminate the conflict of interest because now I'm working in a different county on this.
Uh-huh.
So I became a police officer this year. But
Well,
yeah, I was
you
a news
did.
reporter for many, many years. So we had no problem with people reporting.
Are you working are you working full time over at Lone Tree?
Full-time Lone Tree, part-time here. So I'm here
Okay.
Monday, Tuesdays,
Okay.
for 8-hour days. And then Wednesday through Saturday, I'm on patrol there and I work 2 hours here in the morning responding to emails and requests.
Yeah, so there is no conflict because Lone Tree is
It's now
Brocklers now.
under the 23rd. That is.
Gotcha. Okay. Was that a desire of yours to become a police officer?
Not necessarily, but I it's a lot more job safety and security long term. You know, working for an elected leader, you're only as good as an elected leader, right? So a new DA can come in and be like, I'm choosing my own administration, you're off the thing.
Whereas a police officer always has a guaranteed paycheck.
Yes, we do.
Oh my, he just admitted it.
Yeah. I mean,
Eric, that was, but
unless you do something wrong or charged or whatnot, they're never really cutting law enforcement positions. They're only expanding. They cut certain like specialty roles per se. Like, you know, we may not have a full-time SWAT team or we may not have a full-time canine unit. Street patrol officers, I've never heard of, at least in Colorado, them saying, you know what, budget's really tight. We don't have the ability to hire, you know, more officers. They're always hiring. So
I'm dealing with close to me right now.
oh, not with me though. I haven't come across yet.
No, no. So are you on days?
No, I'm swing shift. Or so at the mall.
Oh,
Kind of
okay.
like my district.
I'll look for you at the mall
Yeah.
for sure. I'm gonna find Eric at the mall.
You know, like I'm Reagan. Now I know who you are.
Uh-huh.
Met you in person. But yeah, usually around the mall district.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
I appreciate the conversation.
All right.
Take care. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You see why I love meetings. Hi. It's Ginger, right? Yeah. Hi, Ginger. Yeah.
I'm with the sheriff's office.
I know.
And so is John. We're both the public information officers.
Yeah.
Accessing records, CCJRA records.
Yeah.
Literally, call me. I will walk you through it. I'll help you get whatever you need.
Will you?
Absolutely.
Okay, Ginger, I'm gonna do that.
Public
That's why I was gonna
information
ask. That's what I was gonna
We're
Yes,
not just for the media, we're also for the public.
yes, and you are very good at your job.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So I love that you are now
Do you
records
follow
clerk.
us on social media?
Yes, I do. I do. Thank you.
We also do a newsletter too, just like they do.
Okay.
You can subscribe to our newsletter. We post it on social media too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be looking for that.
Okay, what's your name?
It's Regan Benson.
Regan.
Yeah.
Okay, nice meeting you.
You too.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, boy. Yeah, so here we go. Counter. Yeah, this is the bulk of the prosecutions of all of us. Me, him,
Right here?
yeah, Kellner. Under Kellner's, she just took off.
You know, he's a veteran.
Yeah, he's a vet and he does not want your rights to be upheld.
Yeah, I looked into him. That's why I thought it was kind of weird. You know, he's a veteran. He's
Mhm.
against people exercising rights. And First Amendment. So
I am a tad bit disappointed in why they decided to keep your case alive. I don't know. I can't have those conversations. George Brothwick. So good old George. George and I, we know each other. And George is now the DA of the newly created 23rd Judicial District in Colorado, which now includes Lone Tree, Highlands Ranch. You've heard me talk about all that. Carol Chambers. I got to be a part of, what do I want to call it? Well, it was her Citizens Academy. So some of you may or may not know that I have some paralegal background. And I got to be in one of her community citizen academies. And it didn't go very well. And I left and never came back because at the time they were exceptionally aggressive with criminalizing parents and children for truancy in the public school system. And they just kind of made me a little uncomfortable, if you will. And for the sake of my credit that I needed, I didn't come back. So that's my experience with Carol Chambers. And she just ran again against against, I think, Kellner.
Thank y'all for coming.
When did Carol Chambers run again recently? Was it against Kellner or Pat?
It was Amy.
She did run against Amy, huh?
She's a Republican, obviously, Republican ticket. And of course, John was just one term,
Right, right.
4 years.
Brother had 2 terms, right?
2 terms, and now you know this, he's the DA in the 23rd,
Right, right.
which is Douglas, Albert, Lincoln, so it's a big traditional district. So
I knew Carol Chambers had come back out to run. I just couldn't remember.
she did, she was Amy, she was on the Republican ticket.
She's not employed at the DA's office, is she? Carol? Yeah. Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, so that's our history.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you for coming.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Are you ready, friend? What do you think? Are we done here?
I kind of like these meetings.
Huh?
They're interesting.
See, that's why. I know this will be up your alley if you give it a shot. Because there's a lot of information to gain that you wouldn't typically have. What's that?
Thanks for your good questions.
Of course. I've got plenty more. I just want to try to be respectful of time. So, yeah, of course.
Have a good evening.
You too. We've been very welcomed here. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I know this is kind of hard for you because this office is prosecuting the shit out of him.
It's hard to talk to anyone, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to.
Because then people act like they don't know you and they actually do know you. And
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just fake, you know?
Yeah. Just like Ginger Delgado, her and I have had interactions. Yeah, it just.
It's like, how do you know who
I
to trust at that point?
I know, but
When the system fails you, you would believe reasonably that everyone in it is a problem as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because if there was one outstanding or great moral person,
they'd stand up to it and say, we're not doing this shit. And you know what? I'm sorry this is happening to you. I would like to make this right and I'm going to do what I can. And I want you to know that. But no, they don't do that.
I mean, in any case, how does a case go all the way to trial and get convicted and no one knows about it? You know, it's not possible.
And the one that prosecuted him is sitting in here as well. I saw him. Yeah. So, yeah.
Not really harassment case, but different case.
Oh,
Disorderly conduct.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
My bad. Well,
Yeah.
I recognized him.
A senior.
Yeah, a senior prosecutor.
In a misdemeanor petty case of mine for some reason. And I'm supposed to believe that this was fair. This wasn't planned. There was nothing shady going on about it. And a senior prosecutor showed up in my misdemeanor case. So that just makes me question the whole entire system.
Yeah, absolutely. And it should.
They really tried to. So.
And it should.
Debbie Stafford already leaving.
So I am, this DA, I can get behind her if she can follow through with what she says she's gonna do. We're not gonna agree on everything, but I could really get behind that. Her. And typically for me, having been involved in the criminal justice arena, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. When there's victims and you're not doing your job because of some political motivation, you're not going to make it as an elected district attorney. So to me, whether or not you're a Republican or a Democrat only defines what level of authoritarianism you're going to exude in your office, if you will. Carol Chambers is an authoritarian. I will say that. I'm not a fan of authoritarians, especially when the victim is government. Mm-hmm. Well, is not government. Government can't be a victim. So, at any rate,
Can't be a victim of what?
crime.
Like in their official capacities?
Yeah, government.
Well, they can be.
How?
They definitely can be.
How can government be the victim?
I know specifically an officer that is a victim.
That's an individual.
Saying-
Why is he a victim?
You're saying as a whole? Or-
Yeah, the people of the state of Colorado versus Luis Johnson. Why?
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Who's a victim? The state can't be a victim if it's not a person.
What's this cop a victim of? Somebody tried to. Well, we shouldn't talk about police violence on a Regan Benson live stream. Never mind that. They can commit the violence on us. But if you do a live stream and you use certain words, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Probably saved you a little bit.
Oh, it just. Good night. Thank you. Oh, do not use this door after hours. Use the other door. Oops. People cleared out pretty quick. So yeah, this is the district attorney's office in Arapahoe County. This vehicle over here. Let's go check this out. This was here when we got here. Somebody's trying to spread a message. Let's see what it is. What was that beeping?
I don't know. It's something.
It's something. Oh, it's that camera right there. Oh, look, they have cameras on us. Who would have thought that? Oh, okay. So this is Aurora. I don't exactly know what is going on in totality. Oh, there's a pup asleep in there.
I think that dude with the orange jacket on.
Is this his vehicle?
That same thing on the hood was on his.
The one that was asking a bunch of questions in the back?
Yeah.
Oh, vote Billy Boy for mayor in Aurora. Cute. So I don't know exactly what the outcome of the election was over in Aurora, except that they got Danielle Jurinsky ousted over there, pretty much by her own doing. She did some stupid shit, and that city council decided that they didn't have to listen to the public anymore. And yeah, they literally stopped public comment over in Aurora.
So they did what they normally do.
What do you mean?
Like
Silence,
it sounds
silence, dissent.
like when you hear that, it doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just copy and paste for all these different places.
I know. And so we see it at Inglewood, we see it in Aurora. And so anyway, these folks ran. I know. Let's see.
Is that a dog back there?
Yeah, I said it's a pup asleep.
Oh,
Yeah. Just sleeping.
worst guard dog ever.
Yeah. Right there. Cute. So I'm pretty sure she won. I don't know. I don't know which of these people actually won over in Aurora, but at any rate, yeah, that's what this is. Oh, hi, pup. Sorry we woke you up. Eileen for Congress, defeat Boebert. Yeah, Boebert, that whole conversation. I say that I'm done with politics, but I always get sucked into at least paying attention. So I know.
Yeah, you have to at least hear. Let's say.
I want to ask, I want to ask these folks if they'll answer some of my questions. Hey, are you folks from Aurora?
Yeah.
Can I ask you just a couple questions? Because I do follow Aurora and I know some of what's going on. Did one of you just get elected to city council?
No.
Okay.
It's Allie. I think you're probably thinking of Allie Jackson.
Okay.
People have confused us before, but no, my name's Sarah Woodson. I'm running for House District 40.
We hot?
Okay.
Yeah.
We are hot and
you're
live.
recording. Okay. Hi.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you with a news channel?
No,
or-
no, it's just my name is Regan Benson. That's
Okay.
the name of my YouTube channel.
okay.
I am an activist. I am a cop watcher. I am
Nice, okay.
all kinds of things for government transparency and most importantly, justice.
I love that.
Well,
Right?
I
So-
think
Is that your car?
that is my car.
Yeah. So that I was just reading
Billy
stuff.
Boy is my dog.
Aw,
Billy Boy was a very great campaign pitch to get people to.
I saw that.
And voting.
Your sticker, that's great. Yeah.
If the election was tomorrow, Billy Boy would have 90,000 votes showed up and little Mike would be packing his boxes before Christmas.
Interesting.
But just to answer your question, there was a big group of us that got together. And it was right after Drisky did the first thing that she did
Without no
is
public comment.
well, no, you
There
got
was
back.
a lot of.
Well, I know,
You
but
gotta
who
back
got
up.
elected?
Yeah.
My question was, who got elected to the
Okay,
city council?
Allie Jackson and Rob Andrews got elected
At large.
At large.
Okay.
Ruben Medina got reelected in Ward 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Ward 1 is Janina Horton.
Mm-hmm.
And Ward 2 is Amy Wiles. And for the first time in history, we have the majority in Aurora City Council. And we got all 4 Democratic school board members
So we
elected.
being the Democrat,
Democrats, yes.
I used to be very involved in politics. I don't play the Republican versus Democrat game anymore. I play the freedom game.
Yeah.
And I think that we're wasting a lot of time because it is essentially the us versus them
Mm-hmm.
war, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You see my air quotes, because government on both sides of the aisle historically has eliminated our rights little by little by little.
Yeah.
And when all that stuff went down with public comment over there is when I really started paying attention, because everybody had the right to be in front of city council to redress and protest their government.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if we agree or not. Those people are elected
Yep.
to represent everyone. And the second they shut that down,
Yep.
we got big problems.
And that was,
I think
that was so much
part
more
of
to it.
I mean, I think that was the cherry on the top, but that was a part of the demise, and Aurora citizens came out and they made it very clear, good night, Hendrik, that, that's not the kind of government they wanted. So what should happen now is folks should be collectively on the same page. They should be getting along, and they should be immediately starting to focus on policies that are gonna make the lives of the citizens better. And for me, what I want to see is, now that it's predominantly a Democrat,
Party
that
and you
still
invite
means
10
that
people.
we need to be respecting the Republicans on there too. So it shouldn't be like we have the power
It's
now.
all
We're gonna
over the
turn around.
calendar. Remember I keep telling
So
you
that's
to
what
get on
I'm
the
hoping
calendar?
to see, but we'll see how it goes, because you just never know.
I know.
Because humans are humans.
There's gonna be a better
Yeah.
And
calendar.
policies, and
Yeah.
they start becoming a partisan
Yes.
issue, and they're not supposed to be.
They're not
So
supposed
thank
to be.
you
Yes.
for recognizing that.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you all. And you were in the back of the room asking those questions, weren't you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I want to do as far as like running. I want to make sure that I build a platform that's based on the constituents' needs. Of course, I have my ideas, but I need to know what people need
Mhm.
if I'm going to be in there representing people. So
Awesome.
that's my big goal, is to be at everything, listen to everything, be engaged, and then work on my platform. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you.
thank you. Have
Yeah.
a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. all
Same
that
to
good
you.
stuff.
Same to you. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Bodyguard.
Come to my Christmas party.
Okay,
It's gonna be some exciting night with announcements.
right on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is this your mom? I am old enough to be his mother, yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
you get it. But no, this is my good friend,
Okay.
Patriot.
Okay, got it.
And he is extremely educated young man
Okay.
on
I appreciate it.
our rights.
Okay.
And
So-
I
Did you serve?
No, my father did though.
Okay, mine did too. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
And you're from Aurora? You live in Aurora?
No, I'm in Denver.
Okay, you're in
Okay.
Denver. Okay.
He is being maliciously prosecuted
Oh, wow.
by
For the fifth time.
this
office.
Oh.
It didn't all start under her
Okay.
leadership. I have been as well
Oh, wow.
maliciously prosecuted. Those of us that want to hold government primarily in Inglewood,
Oh.
because you heard my question about Inglewood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We can skip the.
And I have concerns
Yeah.
about the things that are continuing to happen. But the more vocal we are, some of us over in Inglewood, the more bogus warrants they're writing for us.
So what's
We
going
get a
on
lot
with
of our
your
stuff
case?
dismissed. We get a lot of our stuff.
What is your issue with
Okay.
the cop was serving on the third
Well, thank you
commission?
again.
Yeah.
It's nice meeting you. Regan?
Regan,
Regan, yes.
Benson,
Benson.
and there's an email
Okay.
on my channel description.
Okay.
Maybe we can communicate.
Yeah, well, let's, yeah. Okay, pen, my phone, Daddy. You got our information? Yeah, Regan Benson, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll call you so we can have coffee,
I would
tea, or
love that.
something like that and get to know each other better.
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
I
Good
would love
night.
that. Take care.
Thank you.
Regan.
Good night.
Regan.
Last
Okay.
name Benson, Benson. Yeah.
You got it? Are you gonna look up her YouTube? Is that how we're gonna find her? Yeah. Okay.
Yep, it'll come up.
Regan.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good night, Kurt. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah, thanks for being here. I expected to see some folks from Aurora here tonight, and I'm glad I did. Nice people. What did she say she was running for? She said it, but I don't recall exactly what it was. Congress? Did she say she was running for a Senate seat or
I don't think so. Something else.
a House seat?
Some committee or something.
And this, what was his name, Kurt? He's having a holiday party at the Stanley Marketplace, 25th in Dallas. Excuse me, a Feliz Navidad potluck. Cash bar. What could go wrong? Christmas parties. I think we may be going and doing some tasks this evening. Did any of you see Sheriff Brown there at the end in his snide? Did you watch him as I was talking to him? Did you catch any of that?
Oh yeah.
Well, what was your impression and opinion of that when I said that exactly, and he was shaking his head yes, and then all of a sudden he was like, no, I don't.
And see, that's what I was telling you in the lobby. All these people are just, are they even human? I mean, they act like they don't know you. They act like every situation's new. And it's like, I mean, do you have the memory of a goldfish or what's going on?
I know, right?
You know?
It's like, are you competent and capable?
Yeah.
Because if you don't remember, Sheriff Brown, the probably 50 emails that I sent you and all of the times that they put Josh on lockdown.
But maybe he didn't read the emails, and that's probably also a problem. Because what is the point of sending you an email?
And going to the county commissioners meeting and making public comment as he's got a representative there.
So
I mean, how could he possibly know? And that we had communication when he was a cop at Mountain View. And he and Reaganborn were running. Reaganborn ended up, he got prosecuted after he got busted in Adams County in his sheriff role. He did some bad shit. There's a reason cops end up at Mountain View, but Tyler keeps winning because he's a Democrat. It's just fact. The Democrats have taken over the state. And is that good? No, it's not. Is it good that Republicans would take over the state? No, not at all. So yeah.
I really did like your questions about CERT. They
Well,
basically said, in my head, how I heard it was, we check ourselves, and we're gonna be responsible enough to not ruin the integrity of our operations because of how wide and large it is. But when I hear that, all I hear is there's no
checks
true
and balances.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Checks and balances. It's kind of just like
Real.
just kind of trust us.
Yeah.
Trust that we'll do the right thing because our officers are not bad. They're very trustworthy, and they would never ruin the integrity of this because of a buddy situation. They would never do anything like that because they've never done that ever before, ever.
Especially Aaron Glee, who has written 2 bogus warrants for me, who has been involved in the warrant writing for his cases, and who thought intimidating me in an actual courtroom by walking up to me and putting his hand on me and pulling me towards him. Yeah, I mean, he would never do anything dishonest, and he represents Inglewood.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a fully honest cop.
Completely honest, because all cops are extremely honest.
Yeah.
You know, we have to believe in them because they swore an oath, and they meant it when they swore that oath. They mean that, and that is like, you know, what they're dedicated towards, and they would never do such a thing.
And they want to uphold our rights. They want to uphold our rights. Yes, judges no different. I would agree.
Honestly, I think judges are worse.
Judges are worse
because they make everything possible. The police, the detectives, they draft the warrants, they make the arrest, but the judge allows the continued
abuse
use of the legal system to harass
not
and
use
retaliate against people.
abuse.
Yeah.
And so in Denver, we're going through this thing about how they continuously are writing warrants to this same judge, right? And these complaints that I filed on Barry Schwartz over in Denver. Well, it's not Barry's fault that the cops lie. I just am like, this is the same judge. When is it a judge's fault that they keep signing warrants and they don't question anything? When is it a judge's fault? Well, apparently never.
Well, there's no legal recourse for
Exactly.
can't sue a judge. They
Yep.
don't. They have like almost absolute immunity.
Yeah. Well, they do here.
They would have to really mess up in a public view to.
Yeah. Well, they'd have to like commit. They'd have to go out and victimize somebody before a judge would ever be.
Yeah.
And they would never get prosecuted in their duties.
They'd have to do the worst thing, like
they'd get removed. They'll lose their law license. That's the most. But even at that,
and they'll become a regular citizen with no criminal record.
Oh yeah.
For what they've done.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They can be investigated only for conduct that is like drug abuse, alcohol, DUIs, things like that.
And then remember, we can get a ticket for driving a vehicle without a front plate.
Mm-hmm.
We can get that ticket. So we can be held accountable for the absolute smallest things, and they can get away with the absolute most horrible things.
Absolutely.
And,
I put your link in the chat.
I appreciate that.
To his video. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, it's The Real Constitutional Upholders. It is plural, huh? It's upholders.
Because upholders is all of us.
Yeah.
The channel doesn't stand for me. It stands for the real constitutional upholders, which is the people ultimately, because we're responsible for making sure our rights are upheld. Not the police that swear an oath and lie. It's us.
I'm the only one in your intro that says upholder.
No, I think there's.
Did somebody else say?
Yeah.
I just realized that today. But anyway, you need to go sub to his channel. And hopefully maybe the mods can put a link in here for that, please. He published a great video today that tells the story of this current case that he's appealing. So he's not offering really any commentary on it. But you need to go watch this compilation of facts of body cam footage. It's intense, and it involves
I wonder, you guys, I gotta show you this picture. Are we in a hurry? Do we need to go?
No.
Are we?
No, we're good.
Because we got the other thing going on time wise though.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Gotta show you this picture. Give me just a second.
Was this that thing that you found that you showed me?
Yes, this is the picture I found.
You know, online
It's
for the public to see.
it's on Instagram, you guys. I did a little search here and hold on. Let me get to it. You gotta get the full effect here. Oh shit, it's on my car. You hear the music? Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. I know how to use my car. Okay, there we go. There we go. Isn't he a stud? Okay. Why is it all orange? I don't know. It's all orange though. Okay, does anybody have any guesses?
I might have a guess.
Does anybody have any guesses who this individual is and what he does for a living? He's got Trump skin. He looked like a human Cheeto. Small package. Gatorade is proud. Um, this, come on, does it, DJ, you win the internet. Cop. This individual is a cop. Does anybody have any guesses where he is a cop at? Who wins the rest of the internet? Substralian alien marsupial. The cop who fears Luis. Yeah, that's him. His name is Nathan Yostin. I'm sorry. These guys. So I go to this trial and I watch Nathan Yostin up on the stand literally describe. Oh, and by the way, I took notes at that trial where Nathan Yostin took the stand, and I forgot I had done that. They're minimal notes. Here's some quotes. My spidey senses are up. I was scared. Fear for my safety. I didn't know if they were going to start shooting at me. Once again, I was terrified. Oh, this is really ironic, you guys.
This
was at your trial.
This is Detective Yosin, right?
No. This is Yostin, the cop, Ossifer Nathan Yostin.
Oh, undercover narcotics.
Something like that.
That one? That's the same one that we're talking about?
No.
Hmm.
No. Oh, is it? I can't remember. Yeah, it was. It was.
Undercover narcotics.
He works undercover. in narcotics. Yeah, because he's been in a lot. Yeah, now I remember he's been in a lot of scary situations undercover as in the narcotic unit, but never anything like being followed by a vehicle. Yeah. So he said, once again, I was terrified. I'm gonna have to do a whole special on Nathan Yostin. We're gonna do a special, I think. I want to do a special on him. And so at any rate, I also remember him trying to explain the colors of the traffic light during testimony. Yellow, orange, something like that. It was yellowish orange. You got colors of the light. He said that. Yellow, orange. He was asked, is this an incident you've thought about a lot since it happened to you? Yes. Anybody that would be followed that far would fear for their life. That was his answer. He was asked, has this changed you? Yes. I don't know who's following me now.
Accountability.
Oh, yes.
Real scary for cricket police officers.
You guys, this is so bad. Luis was convicted of harassment for following Nathan Yostin in the course of his duties. You have got to go watch the video that he published today on his channel. Would you mind? Oh, wait, no, hold on. I'll have to do that. And then he was asked, if you saw the public driving like that, you'd pull them over, correct? And he said yes. So with that,
The context is important on that one, though.
I want you to go watch that video that you published, because that's where I'm gonna go put the video link in the chat right now. Aaron, how are you?
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron watched that. But it's right there now in the chat. If you want to go click on that so you have it. Yeah, Commander, anyone who looks in their rearview mirror and sees a cop behind them, those are the people in fear for their lives. So yeah, please go watch that video. So Tyler Brown, Sheriff Tyler Brown, I really hope that you take me serious. I don't know. I mean, it's for the greater good of the people that you claim you're helping in the jail. When you know damn good and well those things aren't happening. That's okay, I guess, if you want to tell the public those things are happening in your jail. But when you're dealing with somebody who knows that those things aren't happening in your jail, you should want to work with that person to show them why things are working the way you say they are in your jail. So I don't know. The last email I sent to the commissioners and Sheriff Brown, I, of course, said that his budget should be cut. He gloated tonight. I don't know if you caught that, in that the county commissioners, I think today, voted to increase his budget because the population was increasing. But then it does make sense to ask why. And one of you did that in the chat. I'm sorry, I can't remember right off the top of my head who did that. Why do they need more money when crime has so drastically decreased? And they claim it's because there's more people. Oh, you mean there's more people paying more taxes, so we better get more money. I gotcha. So, at any rate, that was my whole thing when Josh was in jail. It was traumatic trying to help Josh. It was traumatic for Josh. Josh was placed on a suicide hold for refusing to answer 2 questions or refusing to answer questions in the booking process. I saw the body cam footage. He most definitely was cooperating with the booking process after he'd been taken straight to jail from his trial where he was convicted because Inglewood cops escalated a situation that didn't need to be escalated at all.
The Inglewood police escalated a situation. No, they.
I didn't. I don't think I said that right, did I? I didn't mean that.
They would never do that. They would never ruin the integrity of their department.
That's right.
Because we can trust police to never make a mistake.
Well, and we've heard Dave Jackson say, these things will not be tolerated in our department. Yeah. As they go after Vicina, the wrong cop for the urgency of the cops that should be prosecuted in Inglewood. They go after the sacrificial lamb because they can, because he's only been there for a year, and they claim he chokeholded a guy. And this office is prosecuting that cop. But you know where I'm at with that? Fuck that guy. I mean, he never once stood up for anything that was right. I'm sure as hell not going to stand up for him. And this is an us versus them war. So Vicina, who actually is in one of my videos, it's the last video I published on my channel like a year ago, I think. And it's, what's the title of that video? Let's see. Where Inglewood is trying to pull people over, and Vicina was all kinds of happy about the little deceptive trap that they set up. And I asked for his card, and he got super stupid. Yeah, that video is called "The Dumbest Mofos on the Planet." And here that is, if you want to see that cop, Ryan Vicina, in this video. Let's see. Put that in the chat as well. I really need help posting links, mods. Really need that help.
I mean, you really got to think about it. I've said this before. Usually when news hits, you have to think about the opposite because it's never really truthful. So you kind of got to play like devil's advocate. And in that situation,
sure.
Why were they so quick to charge this guy? Extremely fast. Never seen them move that fast in my life. Unless it was like, somebody they didn't like. And even then.
No, that is a really good point
Yeah.
about how fast they did that with Vicina and fired him.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But we feel very strongly that he did not do what they said he did.
And not only like him and his charges and, the court system, I think they're going to have a wrongful termination lawsuit possibly. But if he was probationary, then I don't know what the terms of firing an officer could be, but that might be wrongful termination for that. If that's it.
Well, I mean, he did violate policy with taser deployment. So
yeah,
they had grounds to fire him.
But I mean, I've heard of stories where officers have tased, people before. Specifically,
of course,
this guy on a bench is one that comes to mind, and I don't think that officer. Who was that again?
Oh, that would have been Robbie Ford.
Robbie Ford. I don't. Man.
No.
I don't. I don't
Robbie
think
didn't
he's
get
fired.
fired.
Oh, he's still working there.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
maybe they apply their policy
Unfairly.
unfairly. Yeah. Yeah.
And see, well, I could help Vicina with that. But because he's such a little dick, I hope you have a good attorney. Good luck. Take it to the courts, buddy. So, at any rate, yeah. So that's about that. So yeah, that last link in the chat is the video to Vicina. No, Commander, I don't think that's the one where I was repeatedly telling him to shut up. But I was calling out the Inglewood cops for being the morons that they were. Oh, and Terrence is in that video too. Terrence is also in the video that Luis published today. You'll see Terrence in that video too. And you'll hear me say to Terrence, teach him, Terrence, teach him. Because Terrence is the field training officer, I guess, for yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Yeah.
They made a mistake.
He was training Vicina. He was.
Oh my God, no wonder.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So Terrence was on that call as well, but Terrence didn't want to interact with me very much
An
on
FTO.
Mhm.
Oh, my head hurts.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You have the blind leading the blind.
Mm-hmm. That's the way to get her done. All right, you guys. Well, I think we're gonna end the stream. Any parting words there, friend?
Stay tuned, stay aware, stay informed, know your rights, educate police officers in your rights because they don't know your rights. They don't know what they swore an oath to. And if you ever see a police officer, if you get the chance, ask them what the First Amendment is, the 5 elements, and see if they can answer it.
He's nice. He gives the nice version of how you should interact with the police. We'll do a live stream. I'll do a panel so we can play some video. And I got to fill you all in on how my court hearing went last Friday for my preliminary injunction hearing. I've made some posts about it on my YouTube channel under the posts section that they tried to use against me in court on Friday. I'm going to have to fill you in on how that testimony went. It was great. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good cop, bad cop with the po-po.
No more warrants.
No more warrants.